Nancy, and welcome to your Tuesday edition of Afternoon Express. I'm Palisa Tembe, and today we're focusing on the women left vulnerable by the COVID-19 pandemic in this country. We learn how the Stature of Women Foundation has come together to raise awareness and funds for the forgotten women during COVID-19. Videographer and content creator Aiden Ajam calls into the loft to share more about his short film, sparking awareness around gender-based violence. And as we continue to celebrate Women's Month, we kick it all off by meeting Catherine Weinberg, an ambitious entrepreneur who will share her bumpy rise to success. Let's embrace the spirit of celebration, ladies. So we want to find out from you on social media. Fill in the blanks. A woman is...
Oh, fill in that blank. We can say a woman is powerful.
I think a woman is God. That's what I think. Definitely. And to celebrate our women, we're going to be making an amazing recipe, which I think resonates with all women. Mm-hmm. Strawberries and cream, always perfect.
Yes. I can't say anything more.
So we're going to be making a strawberries and cream tiramisu, basically. But it's basically fruits of a forest tiramisu, strawberry tiramisu, all things nice, all things strawberry and cream. Anyway, guys, get the recipe on afternoonexpress.co.za. But for now, let's do a little catch-up with Catherine.
Catherine Weinberg is a successful entrepreneur with experience in starting, growing and operating businesses in 5 different sectors across 3 countries. Catherine is a visionary entrepreneur and respected by many. She did not achieve success by waiting for things to happen. Instead, she worked hard, lost a great deal and recovered substantially from incredible setbacks. Welcome to the loft, Catherine.
Thank you, Palisa. Wonderful to be here.
Now, Catherine, your journey is truly one that I marvel at. You fell in love, you moved around Africa, and you've built a lot. But then you got to a point where all of that was stripped away from you. Please may you take us through this journey, but more importantly, how were you able to always see the positive through every setback?
Yeah, thanks, Palisa. I think anyone that has had a great setback in their lives, has lost anything, lost a great amount, will understand that it's very easy to slip into darkness. So the strategy that one really needs, and what I found, was that when you reach rock bottom, just looking for that one thing that turns you around. And in my case, it was when creditors came threatening my children. So they came to me threatening basically to kill my children, saying that they knew where I lived, they knew where they went to school. And at that point, I really turned around and I discovered this tiger within me. And the tiger within me is when anybody comes between me and my children, or these days between me and my entrepreneurs, this kind of will to push back and this will to fight is unquenchable. And I've tapped into this ever since that time. Really just to say there is no such a thing as giving up. Yeah. There's always an opportunity to turn around and to fight, to face the dragon. And that's a strategy that I use to this day.
But it's quite interesting, Catherine, that as you're speaking, what you went through, a lot of South Africans can identify with and kind of say, hey, look, I too found love and lost love. I found and made a lot of money, but then it also kind of dwindled. So just very briefly, can you highlight some of those highlights and lowlights that you experienced? And then what catapulted you to writing your book?
Yeah, thanks, Palisa. I think you're right. It's so pertinent now. There are so many people that are facing really difficult times and if not financial ruin. And my heart goes out to anybody in that situation. But what is important is to recognize that one's attitude in the hardest of times is the one thing that you can control. And having a positive attitude, really having an attitude of possibility is what becomes so important when overcoming these hard times. And what I found is that if you believe in possibility, then when the new shoots of life or the new opportunities come past you, you can actually recognize them. So certainly maintaining a positive attitude no matter what is very, very important. And that's actually one of the reasons that I wrote the book. So Sheep Will Never Rule the World is a compilation of 100 of the greetings that I send to entrepreneurs every week. And the intention is just really to kind of bring a little light spark, a spark of inspiration. And what I found is that even even when you're feeling positive or when you're feeling really down, just to change a little message that can change your day can make all the difference. And so the beautiful thing about the is that it's filled with those things. It's filled with these little inspirations that changes your day, whether you're feeling good or whether you're feeling bad.
And that's the key, because sometimes you leave the house feeling armed and geared with all this confidence and with all the certainty that I'm about to crush today. But then things happen along the way that kind of knock you down each time. And I think the title of your book speaks quite perfectly to that. So what are your compelling top tips and advice to help entrepreneurs clear the hurdles on the path to success?
I actually jotted these down because the book is filled with 100 of them, and it's important just to choose one or two. And so the first one for me is to serve others. And I think in serving others, we often can walk over the rough stones that would stop ourselves if we were just looking after ourselves. So certainly serving others. The other is to follow your passion. I find young people especially come to me and they say they'd really love to do this, but their parents have said no. Maybe they love to be an artist, but their parents have said no, you should be a chartered accountant. And they go along this road of chartered accountancy and feel really unhappy about it. And so I'm a real believer that you need to follow your passion. You need to go where your heart takes you, and then opportunity will blossom. Then the other one would probably be face your dragons. Turn and face the dragon. Don't run away from your problems, because what I found over time is that the problems never disappear. They actually just increase. So really turn to face your dragons. And then maybe the last one in business is make sure that you have a very clear and compelling purpose. Because if you have a purpose, other people will also follow it. I mean, in Fatola, we have one that's very simple, and it's building businesses that last. And so really really focus on your purpose, have one purpose and go for it.
I think all of these points that you've mentioned right now, I personally can resonate with in my life, because a lot of times I flee. You know how they say fight, fright, or flee? I flee. I run away from my problems. I procrastinate. I do not tackle it head on. And I feel like, the way you've ended it off quite beautifully to say, you know what, we're all going through the most, but let us not make excuses and just go face our problems head on. Now, on this note, you've also gone on to raise 3 beautiful young women on your own. Being a businesswoman and a single mother, what did you find were the most important things to teach your daughters about what you went through?
Yeah, I actually have thought about this question, and I think that the most important thing that I did for them was in this moment. There was a moment when I was facing divorce, and I had this opportunity to either really live an authentic life myself or kind of stick with the tradition. And I realized that the one gift I could give my children was to live my life to the full. Because if I live my life to the full, if I'm really authentic about going for what I want and what I believe in, I kind of create this pathway for my children to follow. And so if I would maybe there's lots of things, but if I would just tie it up with that one thing is be authentic. As a parent, be authentic, live the life that you truly want to live, and your children will be grateful for that.
I think that also comes with a lot of courage and bravery, because they do say that being yourself isn't easy. There's a lot of fear that comes along with it, because we all essentially want to be accepted at the end of the day. So on a final note, Catherine, what is your message to the female entrepreneurs, mothers who are finding themselves having to overcome many hurdles during this time?
Apart from the obvious one, which is buy my book, and then you'll find all the answers in it. Really, I think the thing is, it's just be you. People often ask me, how do you have the courage to stand up in front of 5,000 people and speak? And the simple answer is, there's only one thing I cannot fail at in life, and that is to be myself. And over time, I found that my strength absolutely lies in being authentic, standing upright in 100% of who I am. And it's a message I give to all of the young leaders that I work with. Anybody that's struggling with their purpose in life, anyone who's feeling a little bit off balance, just take time to center yourself and be yourself.
Catherine Weinberg, I think I'm going to invite you over to Afternoon Express on a weekly basis because these are the jewels that we want to share with our viewers. Thank you for taking time out of your afternoon to share this, and please may you give our love to your family. Goodbye.
Thanks, Palisa.
South Africa, you heard it here first. Go out and get your hands on that book. And whilst you're at it, head over to our social media platforms. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express, and let's find out how you are embracing your true self.
What an incredible woman. She is definitely the fabulous one. Well, coming from losing all her money, a mother of 3, and then just grow out of it. It just shows how powerful women are.
You see
how strong we are.
What I mean when I say woman is God.
Yeah.
A woman is God because she basically built herself from the bottom back up.
Yeah.
So, Palisa, I think this is such an inspiration. This is exactly what we need for Women's Month.
And you know what's actually so funny about this, ladies? How you ladies are saying we're powerful. I 100% agree. Did you guys see my embarrassing post on Women's Day? I'm every woman.
Peter was going there. Palisa was going there.
Our digital creators and our content team caught me in a very vulnerable state where I was singing all things women. But that's essentially what it's about.
But it's beautiful. Yeah. People like to see you. That's why women are vulnerable as well. And we need to show that. We don't have to just be strong.
Yeah,
Perfect.
the vulnerability that we're embracing is key here. Now, ladies, we just learnt about Catherine's success story that was filled with hardships. Coming up, the Women of Stature Foundation tell us about how they have gotten 15 successful women to share their stories in the Aid to Help the Forgotten Women campaign. For many women in South Africa, the COVID-19 pandemic and the ensuing lockdown arrived like a tsunami, barreling down upon unsuspecting mothers, wives, and sisters. The Forgotten Women, the South African story, is a collective of 15 contributions from some of South Africa's most successful women as they share their journeys of pain and despair to success and self-love. The proceeds of the book sales will go towards financially empowering and supporting women who have found themselves in heightened, vulnerable positions as a result of COVID. This will happen through the Women of Stature Foundation, and we're joined now by 2 powerful women indeed, Lynn and Venetia. Welcome to the Loft, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Venetia, you are the Women of Stature Youth Ambassador Award winner 2020.
So much.
So speak to us, please, in depth about why the Women of Stature Foundation saw the need to help other women during this time.
I think the primary role of the particular award that I won, the Youth Ambassador category, prioritizes the role of fundraising and trying to take that initiative and put it in the hands of the youth, because the future does lie in our hands at the end of the day.
It is obvious why you both were chosen to be a part of this great initiative, but your personal journey is nothing short of heroic. For those who have not heard it, please may you share how your journey from pain and despair has led you to the road of bravery and inspiration.
I am a survivor of multiple rape, teenage pregnancy, divorce, single parenthood, a direly unfair patriarchal business society. But yes, how I transformed my pain into power. 3 words really: choice, focus, and perspective. Choice. We don't choose our trauma. We don't choose the crisis, but we do get to choose how we respond to it. We do get to choose how it affects us. And I chose very, very consciously and very early in my life that I might have been violated, but that my dreams were not going to be violated. Focus. I decided very consciously that I would not focus solely on my pain. I had the ability to dream through my pain while experiencing fear. So I was in pain, I worked through pain, and eventually in recognizing the value of my dreams and the purpose that my dreams were going to fulfill in my life as a healer, as a counselor, eventually my dreams got to diminish the pain. Perspective, it was 45 minutes. The first rape was 45 minutes of brutalization, of torture. A year later, I realized that it could have been 45 people who raped me. It could have been 45 days and not 45 minutes. And so gratitude really promoted perspective, and it still does for much of my life. And that knowing that never mind what we go through, someone out there is going through 1,000,000 times worse has really withheld me from victimhood.
Now, Vanensha, moving over to you, in 2017, you then decided to launch your own Instagram page with the goal to transform the way women view themselves, especially when they browse through social media. And you are a content creator, and you have designed this to empower, educate, and inspire. So why was this important for you to transform women's views about themselves and talk about the journey of ending girl hate?
The whole campaign actually started after I met Leanne Dlamini, who is the founder of #EndingGirlHate. And one of the things I struggled with as a young person was having this dream and this interest or this passion to actually make a difference, but not feeling as though I had any resources at my disposal. And so being able to take social media, which is a resource that is available to many of us at any point in our lives, I think, and to use it to actually pivot that conversation, and rather than encouraging competition, which I think is at the center of conversation amongst young people. We scroll through content and we constantly feel like someone is doing one up or one better than us. And the second part, being able to be a relatable inspiration for young people out there, and to drive the conversation of education and using our voice and whatever resources we have to bring about change.
Now, Lynn, moving on to your book now, Butterfly, My Soul Got Wings, What Life Has Taught Me. You mentioned that if we never share the lessons, we nullify the experience. Please do share your message that you want, or you're trying rather, to give across to your audiences.
The message that I'm absolutely trying to get across is that you are not the event. You are the response to the event. And so our human spirit has the capacity to transcend by virtue of our willingness to choose to do so, any trauma and any crisis. The other thing is that we look at situations and we say, the situation and is holding me captive, or the person attached to the situation is holding me captive. But what I'm really trying to get through is that it is our thoughts, thoughts and our feelings and our perspectives about life and about the situations that either hold us captive or set us free. Lastly, I don't think any human being is able to optimize their human potential and fulfill their dreams in a state of anger and unforgiveness. And as much as pain diminishes us in terms of our authentic identity and power, so does anger and unforgiveness. And what I'm trying to get across in the book is that in any given moment, never mind what goes down in our life, we have the capacity to assume a huger identity by virtue of the choices we make as to how it affects us and our destiny.
A very powerful message. Lastly, ladies, we have run out of time, unfortunately, but I just have to get a final nugget of hope, of love, and of faith to our South African audiences, especially the women out there that have to face so much difficulty and adversity, Vanesha.
The one thing that definitely stands out, especially this Women's Month, is a lot of women are fighting back on the conversation around being strong women, because that has opened up so much room for abuse and disrespect, because this woman is viewed as a rock and nothing can strike her, nothing can hurt her. But to actually change that narrative and to say, own the truth on your own terms. And be willing to tell your story on your own terms. Be willing to drain, from that story and to build from your core and to tell it on your own terms, rather than to have it done to you, if I can call it that. So I think just that opportunity for us not to seek permission to own our truth how we want to, and to be vulnerable when we feel we need to be.
We don't choose the damage, but we do get to choose our healing. We've so easily succumbed to the fact that as women, we don't have power. And I actually want to close off with 2 lines from my latest poem, saying that, in fact, we do have power and that our choices really is exactly that. And the 2 lines go like this: Queen, your choices are your riches, the lasting effects that can build or break your kingdom. The vastness of your mentality, of your consciousness, creates the experiences inside your royal territory. And that for me really is, queens, you are inherently powerful. You were born this way. Assume that power.
As we're wrapping up this interview, thank you so much, ladies, for this incredible wealth of knowledge and, of course, bringing us the book, The Forgotten Women. We appreciate it. Goodbye, Lynn and Vanesha.
Thank you. Bye.
South Africa, please do head over to your local bookstores or online to find out how you can get yourself a copy. And do remember, the proceeds are going to a worthy cause. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express if the message from Lynn and Vanesha resonates with you. Ladies, speaking about women of stature, I think that I am quite well in the company of women of stature right here.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're so sweet. Thank you very much. But that's the one thing I love about the kind of women that we are starting to see. More and more women are taking hold of their power. We're starting to realize that we are so great. And just seeing the spotlight being on women like that is great.
And I'm so glad I got an opportunity to sit with them the other day. You know, ladies, taking time out of your busy schedules is definitely appreciated. Mina, I'll just slot myself in whenever you have time. So we definitely appreciate it. But coming up, we have another awesome donation to the Woolies Fill a Bag campaign from our very own crew. And then we meet Aiden Ajam, a digital content creator whose short film, Her Flower, tackles gender-based violence. After being inspired by Chad's family's donation last week, we have another crew donation lined up. This time, it comes from one of our own in-house digital team members, Zoe Human, who is so passionate about the Woolworths Fill a Bag campaign and wants to give back.
Hi guys, it's Zoe here from the digital team, and today I'm going to be donating to help fill a bag. So I'm going on my Snap scan, and there you go, that was really quick. And so I'm going to be donating 100 Rand. My mommy said she's going to match me and donate 200 Rand. Yeah, because she's more blessed, Moss. So you put in your amount, and then it's really simple and it's already complete. So there you go. Have a good one, guys, and I challenge you to do the same.
Mommy being blessed, matching Zoe's donation. I love that. Look, a massive thank you to Zoe for her donation. And if you'd like to get involved, just scan the QR code on the screen with the SnapScan app or your banking app and donate whatever you can towards filling a bag. Remember to encourage your family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, and those chat groups to do exactly the same. Digital content creator Aiden Ajam joins us now on the show as he discusses his short film he created in response to violence against women for a foundation that he's a part of. Aiden, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's such a great honor to be over here. I really appreciate you guys having me on the show, and I'm so thrilled in order to express my word on here and just get my message across to South Africa.
It does seem like a bit of a juxtaposition, being happy to be on the platform, but what is not happy and what we're taking very seriously is the violence and the gender-based violence against women. So why did you decide that it is important for you as a man to take a stand and use your talents as a content creator and shoot this film?
I just feel like it's time for guys to step up and speak out, because we are the main cause. And when I say we, I actually mean us in general, because guys mistreat females. They tend to belittle them all the time and they make them feel inferior. So I just felt that it's a nice way of getting your word out there, using dance and fashion in order to create this little fashion film that speaks a journey and takes you on this journey. We experience the negative, you experience the positive.
Aiden, can you please just take me through the 3 stages that the dancer goes through in this abstract experiential short film?
Okay, so basically when the film starts, she's sitting all innocent on the rocks, which is basically embracing her beauty, and the sun is shining radiantly on her, expressing her beauty for everyone to see. And that's when she starts feeling herself, where she knows her worth and she knows her value and she knows her image. So from that point, the quote that was put forward was, "The sun shines so bright, all is drawn to her." And that's a good and a negative thing. And a transition from there into the darker phase, where she experiences all this dark and this hurt, and she moves inconsistently. The move that she does is more aggressive, it's more tacky, and the way she moves is just more as an animal-like, which actually throws a lot of the inner animal out when she goes through a dark experience, and it changes her form completely. And then once the whole experience of this darkness is subsided, at the end she goes through a triumph stage where she receives the light, she shines the light. When I use the flower as an example, where she turns her face to the sun, and the sun shines brighter for her. And that's the thing, it's almost like you have this little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, which brings you this victory after a dark storm.
I just want to talk about your involvement in this film, because you were all hands on deck, one man. Not only did you direct, shoot and edit this film by yourself, but you also wrote the poem that the dancer recites throughout its duration. So what are you hoping comes across to your audience through this narration?
So basically, 70% of this poem basically consists of scripture, Bible scripture, which I use in order to incorporate a more spiritual meaning for those who actually are very spiritual, to get a different feel of it, because I know that the Bible speaks truth, and with that being said, you can get your message across through any way, through art, through fashion, and it works 100% through the whole film.
I like that you did that because this takes a whole lot of bravery. A lot of people don't want to put in spirituality when it comes to their art, kind of ignoring the fact that I believe the two go hand in hand. And I love the fact that you took scriptures from the Bible because at the end of the day, there are universal themes that are tackled within that book and something that we can all relate to. It doesn't matter what denomination you belong to.
It's very widespread. I didn't over-express myself in terms of using the biblical message, but I used it in order to have a broad message which everyone that suffered an incident in their life could relate to.
Now let's go deeper into the film and the foundation that you're a part of, Grow and Sustain Africa, which is still in the process of finding its feet. So what are some of the things that the foundation hopes to tackle?
So basically, as a foundation, we are exactly what I said in the poem. We are very broad spread because we have a various amount of talents. We are very versatile. On my side, I do the media and the sports and recreational activities, which I basically have a four-time SA medal title, and I've been doing that since I can far basically remember. And we have an educational teacher on board and a musician. So we basically have all the aspects covered, and I just feel like that's a cool way of getting into interaction with the kids and helping them grow, and they can choose their direction in which they want to focus on.
Absolutely. And I want to direct everybody right now watching onto Aiden's social media pages, just in case they want to find out what this organization is all about and how they can help. But just in closing, Aiden, I must ask you, why do you believe that Women's Month is just as important time for men as it is for women?
I feel like it's so important for men as well because men basically start appreciating female only in this month, and I feel like it's something that should be constantly promoted because females suffer these incidents from basically the time they are born, where they have this stereotype laid upon them that they are not strong enough to do something, they are not capable enough to do something, and they allow men to always take control. No matter if it's helping yourself, they will let the man take control. It's not too heavy, let the man take control. So at the end of the day, I feel like men should obviously just start treating females as equal as possible, because at the end of the day, they feel inferior. Even though we are providing help, they still feel inferior because they get the sense of that they're not capable of doing anything. So guys, in this period of time, I just feel like it's important to start appreciating the female, and it just shows a month where we can basically go out into the world and just bless them in terms of the dominance they have actually in the community and the power that they have and what they stand for.
Wow, Aiden, just like that. It just gives me so much inspiration to see young men like yourselves not only using dance and the different mediums to express themselves, but to fight a worthy cause just like gender-based violence. Thank you so much, Aiden, for joining Afternoon Express and sharing your talents with us. Goodbye.
It's so great to have you. Thanks so much.
Aiden Ajam is clearly an inspiration to all men during Women's Month as he continues to use his skills and talents for digital content creation to advocate for violence against women.
Before we talk about the film, I just want to give Zoe a big hand of applause. Thanks, Zoe! We love you!
Very well deserved. Very well deserved, yes. Very well done. Sorry,
Yes.
that's what I wanted to say. But yeah, that movie, that short film, I think it just shines a light even more on our greatness and the fact that things like this should not put us back. We should always look at ways to find the positive light in it, Melissa. And I think it's a great short film. I actually want to watch it.
I think what's very deep about this entire thing that Aiden is doing is this is the age, this is the generation, this is the age group that we need to tackle now, because they essentially are about to head into life as a father, a parent, a husband, and this is essentially that mind frame that we keep talking about, reprogramming the generations to come. This is what we're talking. I love it. I love the short film, Her Flower.
I haven't watched it yet, so it's on my list.
Yeah, and that narration, that poem, from directing, writing, to actually shooting it, hats off to Aiden. Now, supporting local businesses is the best and safest way to rebuild our economy. Coming up, Andy Swabata from FNB shares more about the awesome ways that they are encouraging us to get behind small businesses.
Express yourself. You only have one skin. Nourish it and wear it bravely.
always hear the term support local, but few of us realize the massive ripple effects we as customers can actually have when we do so. Supporting the local grocer, coffee shop owner or salon not only allows these business owners to thrive, but it boosts the economy in a way in which is beneficial to us all. Here to share more insights into the power of supporting local is Andiswa Bata, the F&B Business Regional Head. Welcome back to The Loft, Andiswa.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me, and a warm hello to all the viewers today.
Why should we support local businesses, and what impact does this hold?
So I think it's pretty important that we all try and support local business, because frankly, if we don't, then who do we think will? And so as we go along our daily lives, whilst also obviously there is a place for large corporates and suppliers, it is exactly as you say, the small green grocer, the hairdresser, the pet shop that is owned by a single owner, an entrepreneur that desperately needs any cash that we can advance their way. And so there's a huge encouragement from our side, from an F&B perspective, for us all to use our buying power to help support local business.
So as a financial institution, what is F&B doing to support local businesses, and what was the process that F&B Business followed to help their customers?
So a lot of the support was in place already, even prior to COVID. But obviously, given that COVID is very topical right now, I would maybe, in the interest of time, focus on that. So there was quite a lot that we did on our own with just listening to our clients and understanding what support they needed the most. And at the time of entering the lockdowns, there was a combination of financial and non-financial support that was needed, which we responded to via ability to provide short-term funding or payment breaks on debt obligations. And from a non-financial perspective, there was the launch of what we call the Business Hub, that is essentially a centralized place where we seek to put together a lot of insights from business leaders, from internal, from captains of industry that can help any business with any tools that they need to navigate at this time. Then there was stuff that we did in partnership with other private sector partners, such as the South African Future Trust or SAFT Fund. And then there was also the collaboration with the South African government that most of the commercial banks have done around what we call the COVID-19 Government Guaranteed Loan Scheme.
Now, we all are for women empowerment on the show, and I believe that F&B has an accelerator program to empower women as business owners. Can you tell us more about this program?
So I think it's actually even more important right now to focus on female entrepreneurs, given that, as we've seen, various research shows that females are the ones who have been mostly impacted by the COVID setbacks that everybody's currently experiencing. So in terms of a targeted approach to female businesses, we have the following on offer. There is the Business Propeller Program, which you've just mentioned, which was a pilot program that we launched last year, which had a classroom-based element, but also a coaching and mentoring element to it. We also continuously seek, through our Women in Business units, to profile and uplift the profile of female-owned businesses within the South African context. But also, we make it our own point to buy from and trade with female-owned businesses and always strive to pay them on time or even ahead of those payment terms, because we get it. We're a big part of even giving those businesses a source of revenue.
Andiswa, before you leave, please can you share advice to local business owners to help them thrive?
I suppose the first thing I would encourage at this time is a focus on cash flow management, given that we have seen, obviously, in a situation where you might have a lower income, importance around things like cost control is very, very vital at this time. And a focus on how you can seek to reduce or even delay some certain expenditure would definitely help your business to create a cash buffer and give it just an extra fighting chance for the next few months. And then I think there's a reminder that I'd just like to make to all businesses in South Africa, whether it was the 1920 Spanish flu, the World Wars, the Great Depression, or other more global events that hit us closer to home. There's been times in the past when South Africa has had tough business conditions. And what we do know is South African businesses do tend to be resilient and they do bounce back. And so if there's any word of encouragement I can give is that we are the generation, I suppose, that was chosen by COVID. There's a reason for that. Let's pick up the baton and work together to fight it. Thank you.
Andy Swabata, of course, from FNB, reminding us that supporting small businesses is as important as, of course, feeding our own family, because this does have that ripple effect throughout the community. Thank you so much, Andy Swa. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
If you're a small business owner seeking financial advice or relief for your business, you can visit the FNB website at fnb.co.za or the FNB app.
When you buy an extra coffee or two to share, you can help a local business succeed.
You asked us, Palisa, that women are to fill in the blank, and I just can't think of enough words. There's not enough words in the dictionary to explain what women are.
Fabulous.
Great.
Queens.
Powerful.
Brilliant.
I had to put in my little 2 cents there. Phenomenal. And that is what I'm loving to see. But also, ladies, I think it is crucial, and we would be irresponsible to not call each other out.
True.
So at times, women can be mean.
Very.
Women can be hurtful. But then this is essentially now when we need to be responsible for our own behaviors, our own emotions, and take on the responsibility of changing that. Being happy, being cheerleaders in a sense.
Yeah, and if somebody is ugly to you, just work it internally and give love back.
Absolutely.
You can always change people with love.
Now, ladies, how are you showing me that love in the kitchen? Because we're all about elevating classic recipes here on Afternoon Express.
Well, for everyone that knows, red and white always represent love and Valentine's and all of that. So we're going to be making a red and white dessert. We're making a fruits of the forest strawberry tiramisu.
Yummy.
Like
Okay, South Africa, all that coming up.
Forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the Forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real tastes.
Made with love by Clover.
Happy Choosy Tuesday, South Africa.
I was a happy Chewy Tuesday.
Oh, okay. We are still within Women's Month, and as we celebrate all things women, today we show you a delicious treat that you can enjoy in those moments to yourself. Our Fruits of the Forest Strawberry Tiramisu.
I am so in love with the tiramisu because those finger biscuits reminds me of a dessert my mom made. They call it Charlotte Russe. And it's also with the finger biscuits and cream, the same as you do now.
Okay.
Same with, yeah.
Sounds interesting. Well, today we're going to be using our Fruits of the Forest for our recipe.
Yes.
It's got the strawberry flavor, so we're also going to be using strawberries in it, obviously, to heighten that flavor. The one thing I love about it, it's got those muesli pieces inside, so it gives it that crunch, making it like the perfect ingredient. Actually,
I just want to taste it. I just want to taste it and see.
You're actually making me want to get a taste as well before I dig in, because I need to just make sure the quality control, you know?
There's so many lovely seeds and crunches in here, and the fruit is in there. Absolutely divine.
All right, so to start it off, with our tiramisu, whenever you make tiramisu, there's always ladyfingers in the recipe, right? But they normally make it with coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
So I drink coffee, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a huge fan of it. But I also decided to put a twist on this, and we're using strawberry jam, balsamic vinegar, and water. So this is going to be the liquid part of our
strawberry jam and balsamic vinegar. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I know that it can work, but please explain to the viewers why it works. Because strawberry and balsamic are like little partners.
Basically.
They're like next to each other, and they're like huddled together. You know what I'm saying?
They're basically like you and me. We work together, you know?
Yes.
You might think that it's two different things that shouldn't go together, but we work very well together, guys. So basically what normally would happen is that people would make some coffee, just the plain coffee, nothing else, and then this is where you dip your ladyfingers in. But because we're not using coffee and we're using strawberry, and strawberry is the main ingredient here, we're going to be dipping our ladyfingers in our strawberries reduction mixture thingy.
And then you can put it in layers in the tin.
Basically, yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer this. So I just want South Africa to see. This is basically the base.
I'm going to grab one.
Very simple. And you just basically dip them in for a couple, not even a second, just less than a second, because all you want to do is want to make them absorb that liquid, but you don't want them to be soaked in the liquid. You just want them...
So many childhood memories. I know you also need cream, so let me just get that out for you.
I think you can get that out as well, because the reason why you keep it in the fridge for a while, because you don't want it to now get at room temperature, because it starts to melt.
Yeah.
So you want it to stay nice and chilled for as long as possible.
A little bit of this cream, because I also want to play a bit in the kitchen.
All right, so I'm going to be layering here. So what exactly will you be doing with us today?
You know, I always love to make like a coulis or something. I'm like the cool coulis girl. So I'm going to add your strawberries. Okay. And I've got some raspberries in here. And I'm going to add some honey in my little pot.
Okay.
And I'm just going to let it boil a bit. But I like to always add a bit of chili flakes with my strawberries and a bit of black pepper. I love black pepper. It's like balsamic vinegar bringing the taste out of your strawberries. Black pepper does the same. And I'm going to use some digestive biscuits and build something.
Okay. So the first step now to make the cream part of our Fruits of the Forest tiramisu is we're going to add a cup of our strawberry and cranberry flavor into our bowl. So basically what we're using a cup of the strawberry flavor, and then we're also using some cream. But obviously, guys, you can go into afternoonexpress.co.za to get the exact measurements and exactly how much you need to put into the mixture.
I like the crunch that it's going to add to the thing, and the flavor that it's going to add to it. And there's 10 nutrients in there, guys. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and the best part about it as well is because it's already got the sweetness, you don't want a whole lot of sweetness. So that's why I'm only putting a little bit of icing sugar in here, and then I'm putting my vanilla essence, because whenever you're making desserts or nice things like this, it's always nice to have some of that in your dessert.
I'm also going to add a bit of the Fruit of the Forest in my little coulis here.
Okay.
I think it's also going to add a bit of the crunch to it, and it's also going to add that flavor that I want, a little bit of extra flavor, and it's going to make it, look at that. It's going to make it all creamy and delicious.
It's already starting to look amazing. Right, so basically now all we do is we just fold in our whipped cream as well as the rest of the ingredients is in here, and our Fruits of the Forest, because that strawberry and cranberry flavor is going to stand out because we haven't really put too much cream, too much flavor in the cream itself. And then we're going to start layering.
It's all about the
layering.
You know, you always talk about me going step by step, up.
Exactly
what we're doing here.
Exactly what we're doing.
Can I steal one or two of your strawberries quickly? I just want to
go ahead.
Do something here on my side.
So this is the first layer. I've put in my lady fingers, and now all I'm doing is I'm putting in the cream. And then we go in with our strawberries. So as you can see with the final product there, we've got the layer of the lady fingers, the cream, the strawberries. And you don't even need to cut your strawberries too thin. You can make them nice and thick so that they stand out when you're actually layering your tiramisu. So you want to be able to see that layer. So the thicker they are, the better.
And what I like about it, because the fresh strawberries is going to complement the yogurt, you know, the fruits of the forest.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, it's going to complement it. So I've just got some digestive biscuits here that I got in our pantry. I'm going to add some cream, and remember I've got some yogurt inside my coulis, and it is absolutely delicious. I can't wait to taste it. I'm actually salivating because I can see the pepper and everything that I've put inside there. Oops, no, I followed off my card off.
It actually looks like a mini tiramisu /s'more /
Maar ek hou van morsig, hoor. I really do like morsig.
But we say this, we've made a disclaimer to all our viewers in South Africa that if you're not making a mess, then are you really cooking?
Yeah.
Like, for real, are you really cooking?
Now, can you imagine eating this in front of the TV with your favorite soapy, Afternoon Express, watching Polly, having a fabulous interviews, and we have this.
You forgot something very important that you always like to have.
The wine. Okay, a sweet wine with this one.
All right, and this is basically all that happens in South Africa. You just keep layering and layering and layering until you get to the very top, and then you go in with your cream, you go in with your strawberries, and you just keep going and going and going. We're going all the way up.
It's like double story, triple story.
You know exactly what we mean, and this is exactly what you get. After this, put it in the fridge, let it sit overnight. Overnight is best, and then you enjoy it the following day. The lady fingers are nice and soft and gooey, and it's just...
And I like the heart shape. It's like my Ricky baby. Every heart actually...
I was actually thinking about Valentine's when I made this, and I was like...
really? It's far away, Tooms. I'm sorry to say you're going to have to wait a few while. Yeah.
But anyway, guys, this is the dessert. It is delicious. It is tasty. It is made with fruits of the forest. And to get your hands on this recipe, head on over to afternoonexpress.co.za.
Yum.
Delicious.
It looks divine.
And that's basically it. So to get your hands on this amazing recipe, head on over to afternoonexpress.co.za.
Fruits of the forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.
And ladies are creative, more than anything. Creative in the kitchen, creative within our structures and family. But more than anything, ladies, I think this Women's Month, I have to remind and urge and encourage all of our women to not let go of their magic.
Very true, very true. But like you said, you mentioned something very important earlier, saying that we need to call each other out. And the truth of the matter is, yes, we are great. Yes, we are all of those things. But we also need to check ourselves, you know? Whenever a girl, something happens, negative happens to a woman, we are so quick to be the one that judges. We are so quick to be the one that is negative in that situation. So we need to call ourselves out and fix that.
Yeah, and to offer help to that woman, rather. You know, if you see somebody like that and making those mistakes, it's actually just to be a friend or an ear or a shoulder.
So a woman's also a friend. A woman's also a shoulder to cry on. We're that tissue that you hold under your nose when you're about to just sniffle and cry. Thank you so much, South Africa, for using that hashtag Afternoon Express throughout the entire show. We love the engagements on social media, so let's keep it going throughout the evening. Now, ladies, thank you so much for the food as well. It's always so magical, it's always so tasty, but most of all nutritious. But you still have more magic coming up tomorrow, so please do join us again tomorrow for our Wellness Wednesday edition. Until then, Mzansi, good night, stay safe, happy eating.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.